and you're not going to get the same reaction. I don't even know why he did it twice.
No.
He thought he was like
I actually think
rehyping the
most of the
room.
time, like a karaoke song, there's very few karaoke songs and karaoke performers that are going to get any of the desired reaction that's in their head. Like it is an art and a science, I think. And I'm not even saying as somebody who has mastered it. And I have a singing background. Remember my notes app list that when Kayla and I were first dating, he was like, is this a list of karaoke? I'm like, yeah, they're all in my key. So if I'm ever caught unawares at a karaoke bar, these are the ones I know that aren't too long, that I've sung before, that are in my key. I'll just sure. Shoop, anybody? But like to carry a crowd for even 30 seconds is a feat. And I think just everyday people, like, and we've all seen them. We have like pals who can do it. But
I just don't think there is a single karaoke song that is A+ from start to finish. It is.
Yeah.
It is almost unheard of.
Also, unless you are a remarkable singer and you're belting it out and like people are surprised, and that it's the performance of it's the vocal performance, not the show performance.
Yeah.
Because that can carry a whole song. But even that, like, especially if it's slow, you're just sort of like, wow, she's good. Like no one's like on there. You know what I mean? Like you're still not. And karaoke isn't really about that.
You have to be singing, rolling in the deep with the vocal quality of Adele to carry a karaoke song. You have to have a song that is hype from tip to tail, and your voice is unbelievable. You are an A+. You are an undiscovered talent that should be on par with Christina Aguilera or Whitney Houston.
I think actually probably your best bet, the best bet for a performance to really wow the whole time is a duet with two very talented singers who appear like maybe they wouldn't be. Very unassuming, just walking up, because then you get like harmonies, you get like your part, woo, like, but just a solo act. That's why we're doing this show together. We're doing duet. Imagine just one of us brainstorming into the ether.
I remember one time I was in college and I did A Whole New World, and I remember even that, where we were having a ton of fun at first, like the first couple times we switched back and forth.
Of course, yeah.
Then you start going, okay, like the bit is over. Yeah. Like I don't need to do the second verse for each, a Jasmine and Aladdin. Like this is done here. The reason we're talking about this is that my sister-in-law got married, and it was just an intimate wedding with just the family at a house. And we were meeting the other side for the first time, and the groom's brother-in-law. So related by no DNA connection.
Really.
The outlaws. At dinner, he was just making conversation. We're all getting to know each other. And he asked what everyone's favorite karaoke song was. And as soon as I said what mine was, I knew it would come back to haunt me. And of course, I'm an extrovert. I'm friendly. I'm, having fun, trying to chat up everyone. And then all of a sudden, I hear Shakira whenever playing, and he tosses me the microphone to like get the party started in a house of 36 people, like 16 of who are children. And it is like not the vibe happening at that moment. And there's also some like political tension in the family. And so it's like Shakira, I get tossed the mic to like, Allie, come on, Shakira, go. And I'm like, what? So I'm like fumbling on a phone going, lole, 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 lole. Like, and I'm like, what am I doing? This is more. But I'm trying to be a good sport. And like,
is it a long song? How many minutes long is
it? Feels endless. It feels like a 12-minute song. Yeah. It feels like the Taylor's version, the 10-minute. And then at some point I try to like kick the microphone to my sister-in-law. I won't even tell you this part. Who's like the bride. And she goes, no, I don't want it. And so then I feel like embarrassed in the middle of the song that like I just try to drag her into this insanity. And she's an introvert. And she not only reacted like, no, I don't want to sing. It almost felt like she was like offended that I were to ask. It's like, I don't want to be doing this right now.
The plan.
I don't even want to be here right now. I don't want to be singing Shakira raw. I just choked down chicken, and now I'm like over here singing.
My instrument is not even warmed up. Like I'm not ready. I haven't
had no tea. Anyway.
Allie, I don't see us live on Instagram.
Okay.
That button has not been
I
hit
haven't
yet.
gone live. Well, that's good. She follows me on Instagram, so
Yeah,
it's probably good that I
great.
started it after the story.
Keep that where all of our fans are, and that's LinkedIn.
Yeah. We're live.
Focus.
We're live.
We are live. Okay.
We're live. We're live on Facebook. And let me just change a couple of these settings, and then okay, I carry the first couple minutes. It's your turn now.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping you would just sing the rest of the time while you're setting the tech setup. Welcome back to Can They Brand That, guys? We're your hosts. I'm Lyndsay. That's Allie. We are the co-founders of Semiserious Agency, the world's first humor branding agency, and this is our live improvised branding show. Basically, we take a fake brand or fake product and create real branding for it in 20 minutes with no prep work, no edits, and no rules, really. So last week, well, in the last month, let's see, we have done self-driving strollers. We have done cooking vinegar, like giving it a cool, sexy, modernized brand in the way that Graza did for olive oil. We have done, what was before that? What was before vinegar?
We did chip dust. We did sparkling
a long
milk.
time ago. Mm-hmm.
A long time ago.
Yep. Yeah.
We did an adult
bread heels.
Bread heels. We did an adult scooter suitcase.
Yeah, I was thinking the last month what we had done.
Salmon sperm skincare.
Salmon sperm skincare. Yeah, so really, and then the most recent episode, we finally talked our designer into coming on the show and revealing some brand identity design work that he did for our hot dog water vodka booze hound, and it was a hoot, a howl. It was so good. He designed a full label, a typography and colors and hand-drawn patterns and mock-ups, and it was fantastic. It was really, really fun. We're going to do it again next week, actually. He was supposed to present to us 3 because we thought he was just going to riff on them, but he ended up creating like an entire identity suite, very similar to what we do for clients.
Mm-hmm.
And so the whole episode ended up being dedicated to Booze Hound, but we are going to do 2 other brands he has designed, and so we're going to reveal those next week.
Yeah. He also did, and you kind of alluded to this, he illustrated the scene we were laughing about really, really hard when we did the original brainstorm for Booze Hound. We were talking about how funny it would be to do hot dogs in a hot tub as if they were at a ski chalet. And he actually made that part of the bottle. And and he actually, we actually have this sketch of him doing it real time. Like there in Illustrator, you can actually record yourself like hand sketching, and then it'll shoot out a video of it. And so we have him real time drawing. It's just so funny. It's everything we
dreamed. Yeah, it was truly. I just made a clip to share on social of us just all the times Allie and I are just going, oh my god, and laughing and falling off of our chairs because it was that great. So that's going to be a part going forward, is we're going to have him design some stuff, because I think that helps people realize what we are actually doing in these 20 minutes by taking something that has zero brand identity and something a lot of times is completely fictional. It does not exist, like a chip dust, and being like, what if this were real? How would we position it? How would we sell it? How would we market it? How would we use our patented fun and humor strategy to get it to break through the noise? Because the CPG world is very saturated and very crazy. And that's who we work with when we're doing client work. But for the sake of the show, we're just having fun and showing off and spreading the good word of good times.
Good word of good time. Yeah, it's so fun because it is really delightful to go, what can your brain fire out in 20 minutes? Because you're almost in a fugue state where you don't really have time to sit with it and process it and spend a lot of time with the audience,
filter anything,
or go when I talked to the client that they had mentioned XYZ, and then this is actually what the industry landscape looks like. We're just making a lot of assumptions very quickly, and just tapping back into work we've done, and we've worked across a ton of industries. So, but yeah, sometimes it's going should I go to therapy? Why did that come to me? Where did that come from?
And what things we get hung up on, and you can tell that you guys wouldn't notice, but things that are carrying over from the work we've been working on for clients that week, where you're like, oh, that's top of mind, obviously. Yeah. So we're going in that direction. Anyway, so this is like a very abridged, no rules look at what we would do when working with a actual brand. Um, okay, but before we introduce what we're gonna do, which is already in the title, but I just had a random thought. So Allie and I text a lot. We'll just full stop, but we text a lot about brands we see in the wild doing things that we feel like it's like a missed opportunity. We used to have a
Mhm.
series that was called Before and Laughter, where we would take like major brand like ad campaigns or whatever and be like, if they made this tweak. Also realizing that like brands of that size are up against red tape that uh is like very major. So like a lot of these ideas may have been pitched. A lot of them haven't
Mhm.
though, because we're cuckoo. But so Graza olive oil has been on our mind because we did the vinegar version of it. And so I don't know if my phone just has been listening to us probably and
It's for sure.
knows, but I've been seeing a lot of Graza content. Like I tried their chips over the weekend. Of course,
Mm.
they made mayo. They have like a line of mayonnaise. Anyway, and they announced a like food truck crawl sort of like
Mhm.
across several states, a tour really. They're partnering with a Food Network. And all it is called, I texted to Allie and I was like, what a
Mhm.
missed opportunity. It's called the Great American or the Great Food Truck. I should look back at what exactly it was called, but I had an idea. It is called the Great Food Truck Tour.
It's so
Wow.
unbranded. Guys, like,
Wow.
and it feels like, so detached from any identity or persona or any like, you wouldn't have no idea who is associated with that food tour.
Yeah.
It's kind of odd.
The
It
Great
almost feels like
Food Truck Tour. You're like, unless
Mhm.
the Food Network has a show that's called like the Great Food Truck Tour and they're going on this. Again, I don't know.
Maybe.
I just looked at a thing. But if they were, I was thinking that I was like, if Graza was going to go on a like road trippy activation, what should they do? And I was like, they should have, it should be a Graza like repair truck and for an oil change and it should be
Mhm.
going through like switching out your oil, but it's all like repairman themed and
Mm.
like cool old style like ephemera and like
Like
aprons and
mechanic
like work
jumpsuit.
mechanic
Yeah.
jumpsuits and like it's a repair truck is coming through town to give you an oil change and basically like sort of like feels like in a 90s way of like trying to convince you to swap out your old. I don't know if you like come with an old olive oil bottle and recycle it. Like there could be so many components, but I was like an oil change
Is
is a really
such
funny thing to think about. And then you could still give out samples. You could still cook on the back of it. Like, cause I know that's part of this is they're like cooking food with the olive oil and serving the potato chips and stuff. But like, I don't know. I was like, that would be really fun.
Lyndsay, that's such a good idea. That would be such a funny way like, the idea of an oil change to, like, introduce new consumers to Graza olive oil. You know who does that? My mom's a hairdresser, and there's, a company called Cosmoprof, and they only sell to licensed cosmetologists, like, their, hair care
Oh
lines
yeah,
and things
yeah,
like
yeah.
that, and if you bring in any of the, like, color lines you use, they will buy it back from you
Oh,
and allow you to,
sure.
like, use that credit toward, like, lines that they sell within their within Cosmoprof, and it reminds me of that. It's like investing in your core demographic in order to, like, get them on board with your brand. That's so
Cause
funny. I
like somebody else
love
does that with jeans. You can drop off jeans. It's like, is it Free People or Urban Outfitters?
I Madewell?
It's Madewell. You can
Uh-huh.
bring in like donate your old jeans and you get a percentage off. But anyway, like so like that whole idea anyway, I think is interesting and it's much catchier. And then like that is to me much like think of like a cool braided like semi trucker hat and the coveralls and the aprons and like you start to
Mhm.
have an interesting crossover there that I think is more fun.
Well, I, like, love the idea of, like, um also, I love the idea of, like, in the stylings of a true repair truck or
Yes.
some sort of maintenance truck because that
That
is
would be more
so
visually
unique and
interesting.
visually
Yes.
interesting,
Yep.
and then
Yep.
having that branded as Graza, and then everyone in, like, the jumpsuits or mechanic garb, and, like, almost having, like, utility belts and, like, what's in there. Is it, like, samples in there?
Tongs and like little
Tongs, like
mini ones. Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah. Open the hood. You know what I mean? Like there's just like a funny, like your mouth is the hood. Like there's just so many
Yeah.
funny, and then like on
It's
wheels,
a really
like
good
I
idea.
don't know. So so that's that. But that is not the challenge of today. The challenge of today is something. crazier than an olive oil mechanic truck, although who knows? And that is Savory Popsicles. So we don't know yet if they're push pops. We don't know yet if they're like little slushies or freezy sticks or just traditional popsicles. But we were like, what does not exist? And they may in some way, but that would be a real challenge. And we don't know what flavors they are. We don't know what they are, but they are not sweet. They're not fruity. They're savory. It's sort of like, it harkens a little.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just going to say it harkens back to when we did cottage cheese for kids and we landed on cottage freeze. No, cottage squeeze. Cottage freeze came along the way, which now someone has made cottage cheese ice cream that has a really lame name. But cottage squeeze was going to be our Go-Gurt equivalent of blended up, which I still think is really smart. But anyway, you were going to say savory can mean a lot of things.
No, and I was like, it was funny. There is this video my kids watch. They watch this like thing called Super Simple Songs, and there's this one song that like takes two delicious things and jams them together and said like, would you eat this? And it's like, ew, yucky. And it's like mushroom popsicles is one of the combos. And so I was just thinking about how repulsive that is, but also like, I was trying to think like, is there a world in which you could make that delicious? And I could not come up with a combo in my brain that sounded at all. Everything felt like just frozen soup. Anyway, so I think this is actually a really hard challenge because the product itself feels diabolical in a way. So I'm really excited to try to actually brand this because
me too.
Yeah, this feels tough. Also, Lyndsay, like watch out on the moving.
Oh, you can hear the typey.
Yeah.
Okay. Too excited. I'm like that cat meme of like
like a cat just batting your mic.
Is this bad? Okay, well, cue up the music because I think it's time to set the timer. You tell me when you're ready for me to cue up the line.
Okay, let's set the timer and answer the question on everyone's mind. Can they brand that?
Just because they can doesn't mean they should. Can they brand that? Can they brand that?
Whew, okay.
This is for sure just because they can doesn't mean they should, because I'm trying to think of a market for this outside of protein and bone broth. And I almost don't want to go into the benefit driven category, and I want to stick to the purely like, are there people with like the opposite of a sweet tooth and they would just want, and you know what else is funny? I feel like Laura, who's on now and was on last week, was joking that like about us selling ketchup popsicles to people in white gloves. Like that's how good we are at this. So like a ketchup popsicle, this is basically we're taking on like the hardest trick, and the age old, like an adage has been made about how difficult it is to sell a ketchup popsicle, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah, it's like I can't even think about it too hard because it's like I'm trying to do like concept development of the actual product, going like okay, what if like in the chat it's like gazpacho. I'm like, I thought about bone broth, going or like okay, what
ceviche?
Kind of yeah, like what kind of like flavor combo would actually be palatable, and like I don't even know if it's possible. So I almost want to think of it as that a client came to us with this already formulated, and it's some frozen combo of like veggies, spices, savory, whatever, and our job is to purely brand it because I don't really know. I almost don't want to get caught up in product formulation because
yeah, I know. I mean, the only thing I do think everybody in the chat is correct about is their brains were instantly going like, what is cold and salty that people like? Because salty things are typically room temperature or warm. And so like it does put you in the mindset. I don't think we have to do that, but I think it does.
Gazpacho's
in that, like a ketchupy. And then somebody already said cocktail popsicles, which I love that if we're ever in a pinch, we're like, add booze. But
yeah,
savory cocktail, like a Bloody Mary popsicle. Oh, yeah.
I know. It's like, because I'm thinking, okay, it's summertime and I'm someone that doesn't like sweet. So, but I still want something cold and refreshing because it's 85 degrees out and everyone's getting their favorite, sweet treat. I grab a frozen gazpacho. I mean, even at its best, gazpacho of some sort or something that has like a little bit more association with like cold savory sounds horrific.
I wonder if we should just focus it on being like salty, like in the naming and stuff, and just imagine that if that is the through line, is it's going to be
Okay.
salty or peppery. I agree. Someone in the comment, Scott said it cannot have chunks. I agree completely. It would be fully blended.
No, I keep picturing with chunks. I keep picturing like broccoli or mushroom or kale or spinach or
Okay, you know what? One thing I have had a cocktail where they put it was like a beer combo thing where they put a frozen beer popsicle into another drink to make like a shandy of some sort. Or maybe it was a beer with a popsicle in it. Maybe it was more like that. But beer is sort of something that is like cold, that is sort of savory in a way.
a little bit.
Should this be beer popsicles? That's sort of interesting because they have boozy, like, you know, cherry and flavory, like whatever. Like, is this for the guy who wants a liquor popsicle who doesn't like sweet things? And so it's like pale ale, lagers, and they're
Feels
like
like
they're like beachy.
It feels like we're cheating. We're
Okay,
cheating
okay.
the exercise by making it
Okay.
because then it's like, how do you take beer and go savory? Okay.
Well,
hold
I
on.
mean, it's
But
just
a
not
good,
fruity.
it's a good angle.
Well, before we go there,
Oh, I have an idea. Sorry.
oh yeah,
Go ahead.
no, go. I was just
No.
gonna say before we go there, and niche down to try to maybe solve the problem, which I think is a fair instinct of ours.
Yeah.
The broad thing I thought about that is reminiscent of some things we've done in the past. When I thought of like pops, something being pops, I thought of like it'd be called grand pops, like it's grandpa's popsicles, and he likes salty things. And so there's a salt flavor, there's a ketchup flavor, there's a beer flavor, there's a soup flavor, whatever, and it's just called grand pops, like GRAN.
That's really cute.
DPOPS, or like papas. And I'm like, you know, how do you like? Anyway, that's the only like broad name that came to me.
Papa's is really cute, and you could almost turn the peas into like little spectacles or little glasses.
Or they sort of look like popsicles.
Like popsicles, papas, grandpops. I think papa is a cute.
What about
iteration of it.
Popsicles,
papa,
grandpop. I think grandpops,
just
is
like
nice.
your
papas,
just like your or back in our day. Hold on, you could do like some fun. Like back in our day, we ate our popsicle savory. I'm trying to think of like, how do you take like an old phrase?
Or we just call them like like, or we could joke that be like the real cause of the Great Depression. Like we can make lore that we're like, this is what drove people, like the stock market crashed because people were eating salty frozen
popsicle. Okay, I like that name. It's really fun. You know what it reminds me of? Like the advice your papa or your grandparents would give you, like eat your veggies, like lick your veggies, or lick your they'd be like, eat your veggies, kid. Like lick your veggies, or
freeze your greens.
freeze. Yeah, like lick your veggies. Fresh and refreshing. Like fresh and refreshing.
Or there's also something funny of like when you can't get it fresh, take it frozen. Like there's a funny thing about like the second best thing to a fresh vegetable is a frozen one. Like, or like, is it one on a stick?
Okay, stick is. Oh God, hold on. There's so many ways like we can go with this. I really like the idea of grandpops or papas, and I love the like the old time. I love the idea of like the branding looking kind of like old timey, very vintage. But then like grandpa being kind of like the hero archetype. I love that angle. I think is really interesting because we played with like grandma ephemera for granny panties, and so grandpa, like the grandpa vibe is kind of funny to toy around with here. Okay, hold on. I have another idea, but I don't want to like derail from this one.
Well, hold on one more second on grandpops. That idea of like, you know how like with burgers or with any like roadside vegetable stand, they're always like always fresh, never frozen. Our thing could be flipped, like always frozen, never fresh. Like some funny thing about that is that's because that also feels like like a grandparent thing to be like, it's fine. This is the way we did it, like canned or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Scott just said dinner pop. He's like, make for a holiday, make a turkey dinner pop. And then I like zeroed in on dinner pops as like, is there a way for kids when you're like, you can't get them to eat anything else, and this has like nutritional content, like a dinner pop
Lick
is
your
also
dinner.
an interesting like subset of something, like calling it a dinner pop, because then you're like, that is
Hold on, that's funny.
also
what's
like old
fun-
people don't have dentures, so it's like no, denture is optional. Like you could target it towards senior citizens, toddlers.
Okay, this is not the same exact thing, but this is maybe iterative of this idea. Is like, isn't it an interesting gimmick to serve a kid a popsicle dinner and then say like, watch us put it in the microwave and like watch your dinner come to life? Like, is there some gimmick about the act of like, oh, kids, pick your dinner, and then they put it in the microwave?
Oh, so it like, just starts frozen. They think
starts frozen.
Yeah.
And then it actually becomes kind of a hot and savory meal.
Yeah.
That's different.
That's cute.
Than this.
That's different.
It's different, but that's kind of another like the beer angle. It starts this way. It's more like gimmicky. Split
Couldn't
pizza.
we also
Someone is
call
saying, go ahead.
Ma and Pops. Like, so it's more like an old fashioned country store. Ma and Pops. Like so it's both of them. It's like this grim elderly couple that like welcomes you to their front porch in a rocking chair. Like, and it's just, I'm sure there's things called Ma and Pops, but that like that's what the name of the brand and the name of the thing is. Like, I want a Ma and Pop.
Yeah. Okay. And then it's like, I could picture like the fun little labels on the package, like dinner's ready, or like, it's kind of like a little dinner bell. Yeah.
Soup's on, like that kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
Dinner is served. Dinner is licked. I was thinking of served.
Yeah,
dinner
like,
is
lick your dinner.
Slurred.
Lick your veggies. 3 square.
Lick your veggies for dinner pops as
funny.
a tagline is great.
I know. It's funny. Hold on. You know what? Hold on. I got a funny line. Let me try to get it out of my head. You know how, okay, this feels like an old-timey phrase that a grandma or grandpa would say. It's like, that doesn't make a lick of sense. Like, we know what you're thinking. This doesn't make a lick of sense. Like that, I really don't know how it fits in, but it feels like something grandparents would say, and then the word lick is fun to play with.
Yeah.
I know what you're thinking. This doesn't make a lick of sense. I don't know.
Also, isn't like getting licked, isn't that also like getting like spanked or something too?
Yeah,
like,
a licking.
In a different way, a licking.
3 square meals. Maybe they're square shape. I don't know. I'm trying to think. It's like,
what was your
meals?
What were you going to take it?
Okay, my other idea. It's a different kind of concept. I don't really have anything in my head other than the name, but I think it's maybe interesting to explore. Is the term alt pop? It's like it's a genre of music. Alt pop. I just thought that was kind of fun.
Okay,
alt know what to do with that.
Alt pops, like alternative popsicles, and it's ALT pops. I love that. And we could take them in just slightly savory ways, in the way that like Element and Waterboy for their electrolytes are like more salt-based and less like super sweet, in the way that like Greek yogurt is not super sweet. Like, we could make it just more like alt pops, and they're for people who don't like things super, super sweet. And that way they're like really all natural. They're lemony. Like, think about a really tart. I'm trying to think of like things on the fringe, things that are on the fringe, like fringe flavors on the fringe, and it's alt pops.
Fringe flavors on the fringe. Yeah, like the outlicks of yeah, because I like it's almost like it's like infused with savory elements. Like cinnamon could almost swing in both directions. Like cinnamon is used in a lot of like Thai or not Thai, like I know like Thai, but also I think
Indian.
Cambodian cuisine.
Oh, okay.
And as well. And like they bring that into savory dishes. Like I think there could be some interesting mild crossover with flavors. So I like that idea, like maybe bringing like spinach into it, or like, or you said like
basil,
it's like
like strawberry basil, and how like mango with tagine, like that kind of thing. So it could be like,
so it has a savory component. Alt pop, that's fun.
Yeah,
alt pop,
a pop of flavor.
You know what's fun? You know what's fun to try? Hold on, I'm trying to make this work in my head. Swapping out the pop and popsicle with like the first one I thought of was like swapsicle. Like that's not right.
Oh,
God.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
cropsicle, stopsicle.
Let's call them
top
slopsicles. 'Cause
slopsicles.
they're just like only little piggies would eat them in
Yeah.
slop. Or notsicles, like because they're like they're
Notsicles.
not. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, it's hard.
But yeah, okay, alt pop. That's a fun angle. And then the packaging could be like really fun alt pop styling. I'm trying to think of what is like the visualization of that.
Yeah.
Not got. I guess alt pop is not got. Like what is alt
Alternative
pop?
pop is like they're saying
Like
conventions
Modest
of R&B,
Mouse?
synth
Like who
pop, and
falls into that?
they're saying Lord Billie Eilish. Irish.
Billie Irish.
I'm
Alt
Ma.
pop.
I'm the Ma in Ma and Pop. The 1975 Lana Del Rey.
Okay.
Glass Animals.
Okay. Oh, that Lana Del Rey. That's interesting. That is like an interesting
Charlie XCX. Oh my gosh, SEX. What is wrong with me? I'm like accidentally making them into wordplay for somebody who's just landed on the planet. Olivia Rodrigo. I don't know. I'm not
she
getting
doesn't
really
feel
a through
all
line
pop.
here.
Lana Del
Yeah,
Rey.
she is. She's like tries to be a little skater girl.
She's a little like a little grunt because she's got a little bit of the who did she rip off? Heidi or Haley Williams from
Oh, sure. Paramore.
Paramore, yeah.
Is that what people are saying that she ripped her off? I love her new album right now.
It's really good.
Alt
It's really
pop.
good.
Okay,
that's fun. So anyway, that could have when I think of Lana Del Rey or like a Billie Eilish, there's like a moody element to it.
Yeah.
Moody food.
So they're all
Is there anything
dark.
there? Yeah, moody.
Flavors
Food
on
for
the
a different
fringe.
mood. Like
Yeah.
there's something interesting there. Like a new mood of food. Oh, go ahead.
And like thinking of music tastes and tastes, like for those with different tastes, like for like frozen food, like if you let for popsicles of a different taste or whatever.
Okay, hold on. Take that idea. What do they talk about? Like, what is the terminology when people like have really avant-garde music taste where they're like very snobbish about like, oh, I listened to that band before 10 years before it got popular.
Yeah.
It's like
not poser, but it's like
you tell everyone you licked this before it was cool. Like
and
like
a
something
t-shirt, like band t-shirt. Yeah,
like you could play into that. Like you're almost
also
like
before it was cool is perfect for popsicle. Like cool, good. Like it was before when it was like in a mold.
Oh, that's good. Well, that was like better wordplay than I realized.
No, oh my God, we liked savory before it was cool. That's what it is because you've loved savory stuff before it got cold and turned into frozen.
That's the tagline. That's a great tagline.
Okay, and now I think, I think alt pops. I think we could also hyper gimmickify it, where it's like this one tastes like pizza. This one tastes like a hot. Like if you wanted like kids to try them and to be like like and maybe sort of like it, and I'll be no chunks, guys. Don't worry, chunk free, like it's like, like orange juice will be like pulp free or like a little bit of pulp, like like, no chunks, some chunks, but like if you wanted to replicate flavors, like I'm remembering in the late 90s how much we flipped out over those pizza chips, so I just thought about like a pizza popsicle where like it tastes like spicy and whatever. Anyway, we liked salt before it was cooler. We're like we like
savory before it was cool. That is that works out so well. That's so weird.
It also makes me, I said this to you this morning when we were like making this up and we're like, what should we do? I was like, it also could be funny. Like it's basically like a salt lick. Salt lick would be a funny, like for humans, because like for a little horsey, but like this could be
salt lick. Like
salt lick sounds like a cool thing because it is a thing.
That is a good name.
Like that sounds like semi like modern and bougie, like it's going to be sold at like a nice little market.
Like
you're like
or
salt licks,
Well, Salt Lake kind of almost feels mom and pops adjacent, weirdly, like the Salt Lake.
Are you thinking of like saltwater taffy a little bit in the country store?
A little bit of that. Yeah. I'm thinking of, I'm also thinking I had bunnies growing up and we had like the Salt Licks and they would be in their cage and there's like those little circular things and that feels kind of country or something to me. I don't know. Last lick, is there anything like not last lick? Lickins. Well, licking kind of means spanking. I like a lick.
Yeah. Mineral
short end of the
salt lick.
Hold on.
Short end of the
like short end of the stick or like short end of the stick. Like this, it's on a stick. It's a popsicle. Like Some would say this is the short end of the stick.
Like haters call us the short end of the stick, like,
Or
because like no one would want to eat that, but the few.
okay, hold on. Let me get this thought out of my head. Carrot or stick, why choose? You know, like that is like a way to entice people. Like, do you use the carrot or the stick?
Yeah.
Why choose? Or I don't know. Ooh, Scott had a really good a Thai peanut sauce would be interesting. That is a good interesting flavor. And I think Laura said pizza actually a little while back.
Oh, she did? Well, okay, the ones that have the most legs that I think people would actually eat is like Laura also said lemon and basil when we were saying strawberry basil. Like, but I think if we keep like fruit out of it, well, I know lemon's a fruit, but like keep it real fringy and like I guess the like mango tagine, like make it real that. I just also thought about if it's I think the strongest like name we've come up with a gimmick is Ma and Pops.
Yeah.
And it's out in the sticks. Like that's what they call the country, the sticks.
Yeah.
And so it's like the trees are all little popsicle sticks. Like made in the sticks made in the sticks. I don't know.
Made in the sticks. Sticks made in the stick. Oh, I like that. That's really cute.
It's a fun thing.
Made in the sticks. Sticks made in the stick. Our sticks are made in the stick. Yeah, like that's cute. Forest, for us, forest, sticks, wood, wooden popsicle stick. Like I like there. Would.
Oh, the wrong end of the stick. I'm looking up stick idioms now.
Would you bootlicker something? But
something to shake a stick at. Anyway, I think we didn't really play with like the words like freeze or ice. Like
I have one other thought.
Nice. Yeah, go.
Ice is good. You know how you say like make a meal of something? Like we made a meal out of like a meal out of dessert or make a meal out of a meal out of that. We made a meal out of that. Like I think what the right like copy would be for that, but like we made a meal out of that. Which is like we kind of
like does that mean like to take down or to make the most of?
Make the most of. Like he made a meal out of that. Like it's a little bit like tongue in cheek where it's like he took like one idea and like turned it into like, you know.
Oh, our timer just went off. Yeah, this is saying spending significantly more time, energy, or drama on a task than is actually necessary.
Yeah.
Overcomplicating or over dramatizing, which we did, which we would with these. We made a meal out of a treat out of popsicles.
Okay. Do you want to spend a couple minutes doing what you said, like frozen ice?
If we have 5 more minutes, I want to spend it doing beer. Because that's savory.
Okay.
And like, I think that's beer popsicles surely exist, but like they haven't been semi-serious.
Can beer freeze, Lindsay? I can't remember.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
It doesn't mean
Probably
that can't
not.
be done with this if it's infused.
I mean,
with
I
other
think
things.
it'd be beer flavored, whether it was like exact beer
Okay.
flavored, with alcohol in it, I guess would be
okay. Beer. What is
like
a fun
ale, pale
bootlicker
ale,
feels
ice.
like a funny name for a beer.
Yeah.
Bootlicker. I don't
It does.
just because lick. That feels like a name you would hear on a beer brand.
It's because I also feel like we're thinking of like cowboy. Like it feels like a something that people are doing in like the South. Bootlicker. I can say that. I'm in Nashville. Wait, I also think just like not this, but something like on ice. Like ice cold. Like could the whole thing be called ice cold? Ice cold beer, ice colder, ice cold, colder.
Hell, hold on. It makes me want to do like
Frosty
hell froze
mug.
over, or like a hell frozen over type of like hellion hell. I feel like that's probably a beer brand. Hell, frozen hell, or like
hop pop. It'd be called like hop pops, like hops.
Oh, hop pops. Yeah,
hop pops. But that's like cuter. But hell froze over as a tagline for something, and then like to reverse engineer like the devil's, and maybe the devil instead of
Devil's Delight.
Fork, he's holding a popsicle stick, a wooden popsicle stick instead of
as opposed to a pitchfork. Devil's Delight or Devil's Dinner, or like Devil's Dinner is kind of funny. Just the idea of like a devil would want something cold because it's so hot in hell.
Yeah. And then hell froze over.
You know how they say dance with the devil? It's like dine with the devil. Dessert with the
Yeah.
devil. Dance with the devil.
Lucifer, lick, and Satan. Satan on a
Satan
stick.
sticks. Satan sticks.
That's the best given just a few, or like like demon. Demon would be fun instead of like
Demon.
devil, like calling it like demon brew.
Hold on. Now I want to look up like other words for the devil, like Beelzebub.
Beelzebub.
Oh yeah, Beelzebub.
Oh yeah.
Duh.
Why did they spell they spell it that way in that thing?
Beelzebub? I think it's probably
Lucifer,
right. Beelzebub.
Lucifer,
Prince of Dark,
Archangel,
Sticks of Darkness,
Pops of Darkness,
Pops of Dark. That's fun. Beelzebub,
Freeze.
Beelzebub. I read it so stupid.
Beelzebub, Serpent. Also, you know what though? This doesn't sound very like masculine, which is we're being like binary about it. But like Fallen Angel sounds like a really funny name for like a very deranged popsicle.
Oh, it's a great name.
Grim Reaper, Pop, Push Pop, Evil Spirit,
Reaper,
Spirit,
Grim.
Yeah.
Grim is a good word. It's got
Yeah,
a nice
grim is
sound
okay.
to it. Grim.
Yeah.
Grow sticks.
Diabolical is a fun
Mhm.
diabolical, wicked, inferno,
Lucifer.
sinful, immoral pop, villainous, heinous, foul pop. That's so crazy and gross.
I know.
I guess people have done gross things with jelly beans. Well, okay.
Okay,
I
that's
think
good.
Oh, Laura said devil's food. That's fun.
Oh, that's funny.
Devil freeze. Hell's freeze. Hell's frozen. Frozen hell.
Frozen
Yeah.
hell. Yeah. Hell. Frozen hell. See you in hell. There's like something there. Hellion. Hell to pay. I don't know. Yeah, there's something there. Where
It's like
sweet mom and pops made some savory popsicles. Hell frozen. What a swing.
I know, and I
Insane.
don't want to use hell in the name because I want to use hell froze over as the thing.
I
But
know.
like living hell would be a really fucking funny name for
Mhm.
something.
Yeah. Mephistopheles is the German folklore. Faust,
Ooh.
legend. Tempter. What is a tempter? Tempter is it's kind of tricky to say. Tempter.
Anyway. If we had more time and this was like this specific thing, I would want to find a word that is like akin to blasphemy, and we like work in freeze, frozen, pop, something into like blasphemy. Like, because then that would be like fun, I think.
Yeah, that's. Some will say it's blasphemy. Like there is like good language around that. Scott just said awful pops. Awful. Awful's actually a good awful. Like that's interesting. These popsicles have been to hell and back. Yeah, like there's something here. I like playing into
everything actually that we've come up with for the beer focus one actually feel like it's more for the like deranged flavor ones. Like this one tastes like a hot dog. This one tastes like pizza. This one tastes like a blah, blah, blah. Like those would be awful pops, I think. And then I think like a bootlicker, like
that does feel a little bit more beer.
Frosty mug or like hot pops like that, I think would be. Yeah. Oh man. Okay. That was hard and really fun. Okay.
This is hard. And God, this is like that feeling of going like, I want to keep playing, but we have to stop.
I know.
Because I feel like there's like other little ideas that are spinning, but whatever. We have 20 minutes and we already went over. So, okay. Should we do Mascot O'Clock?
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. Yeah.
Let me tee up the song. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Mascot O'Clock.
You know what? That is the perfect length of a karaoke song. 3 seconds. For the average person, that's as long as I want to see you holding a microphone.
That is
not you.
The most accurate statement I've ever heard. Maxiverse. Maxiverse. And even that is like, after the first 2 lines, I'm like, oh, shut her
And
down.
honestly, we probably only need you to sing the chorus because that's the
I
part
know.
that you know the best, and that's the part that we can sort of sing along. Then just put it down. Should be like micro karaoke.
Okay, well, okay,
Let's
if
do
we
this for
we
Ma and Pops. I
yeah,
think.
I almost like the idea of some sort of like beagle or some sort of like
Like hound doggy,
hound
country,
doggy,
porch
country
dog.
dog,
Yeah.
porch dog.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of like an old man, like an Orville Redenbacher-esque,
Mm-hmm.
or just like a cute, sweet old couple, or a rocking chair.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of things like that would be emblematic as a mascot as opposed like I think those guys would for sure be on the label and on all the
Yeah.
packaging. But like are those characters themselves the mascot? Is there another mascot that is like promoting the fact that something like that savory is good or that frozen is good? Is it like a little thermometer that's always like turning the temperature down on things? Is it I'm just thinking of retirement hobbies like fish and
Bird-watching.
tackle, bird watching, binoculars.
Penguin.
A little old ice chest, like an old fashioned little ice chest, and he could
That, like,
talk.
talks.
Or like an ice cube tray. Could that be anything?
Ice Cube, just as a spokesperson?
For
I
sure.
mean,
If he's looking for gigs. What about like the rocking chair itself could become personified? Could there be like what about little like a firefly or a mosquito or a little like something that's in the air at night in the summer when you would want a mom
I like a firefly is really cute. And the idea of like they won't let me near the popsicles, like a firefly,
blowy.
like there's
Yeah,
something
yeah,
kind of funny
yeah.
there.
Okay,
or just
couldn't it also be like a little snowman? You know, like people do Christmas in July, or like I feel like some grandparents like never fully put their decorations away. Is there any little like frozen guy who sticks around the whole time inexplicably in the summer heat? A trout on the wall, you know, those like mouthy guys. Like, could that just be like
bass?
have another? The talking. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, I like the bass.
That feels fun, and he can sing a little song, and he's always like, man, I could really use a frozen treat right now that's salty.
Hold on, Lyndsay. I just had an idea. That would be so fun to have on our website. Is our Can They Brand That page? This makes no sense with anything, but it'd be so funny to have a bass at the top that you can click a button and it's animated and it plays our song. Can they brand that? Can they brand that? Like that's just chaotic.
Great.
I
love it.
Does it visually make sense?
A plaque. I mean, he would sort of make sense on our trophy case too, like a plaque bass, like
Lyndsay,
as though he can't. Like it would feel like it would call back to that, you know. Okay, Laura said the American Gothic couple, but his pitchfork is Popsicles, which is sort of like the devil thing. But that'd be really funny to picture them, because I think with Ma and Pops, you wouldn't want to like go too hard into the tropiness of this like
sweet old couple.
Southern country.
Okay.
But that would be sort of cooler to be like Mom Pops in that way.
Instead of it being like a sweet old couple, they're like a savory old couple. Like there is something funny there about spinning that idea.
Expecting them to be a certain way.
You expect a sweet old couple, a sweet old like little duo, and they're a savory old like I don't know what that means, but I like the American Gothic that Laura's flagging feels like it has a little bit more edge to it or something. That like what's a savory version of them look like?
Okay, because now I'm also picturing on the packaging, little like retired hobbies, and the popsicle sticks replace the fishing stick. The popsicle sticks replace the knitting needles. The popsicle stick replaces, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like all of those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fun thing too.
Okay, that's really cute. I like that for that. And then obviously like if we're going this like fallen angel demon, it feels
the devil itself.
Like you would have like a devil or a demon or something in that.
Yeah.
Fallen angel. Or it could be something with just like a halo or something with just horns that you wouldn't expect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like the hop pop.
Mm-hmm.
This is not, I'm combining two ideas. I was thinking like a bunny with devil horns or like a jackalope or just something that kind of feels like a little weird, just kind of a weird amalgamation. I don't know that.
Yeah.
Pop.
Well, okay. I think we should go into Funded or Done-ded.
Okay. Funded, Done-ded, funded, Done-ded.
Done-ded. It's just like sing everything to the same exact
And
melody.
the same tune.
Like, it's just-
Okay, what do you think?
again, if we were operating from the premise of somebody has this made, there is demand, and would our branding help it sell or get funded? I think yes. From a strictly would people eat a savory frozen treat, I don't think so. But given the nature of the game, I'm going to say funded because I think Ma and Pops, I think a lot of the like always frozen, never fresh, lick your veggies. This doesn't make a lick of sense. Short end of the stick. We liked savory before it was cool. I almost forgot that. We liked savory before it was cool. Like, so the language I think could sell it if the demand was there.
Yeah, I think both of those. Actually, I think all three, like even the devil, something there in that concept could be interesting too.
Yes.
I think in terms of like conceptualization of the product, I think the alt pop idea, not even just the name, but like more the idea of like it just being like a little left of center. It's like it's not just your traditional
I loved
sweet.
alt pops too. I forgot.
I think that angle of taking it like a little into the savory arena, but not overkill, is really interesting. And I think that as a concept has a lot of potential for Funded or Done-ded. And then like you layer on the branding, and I think that I think it would take it over the finish line for sure. Especially if we,
tied to Laura was saying that the popsicle sticks should say something like jokes or something. And I think if we went alt pop, it would either be lyrics that are like that or burns. Like if you were like roasting people like that, it's just like a little disses on there. But then it's like, then that made me think of like
stick burn, like stick burn.
Instead of stick burn, stick burns. That's what we'll call them.
Allie
Stick
just
burns.
said that.
Allie is you. That's me. Allie
That's
is me. Is you. Me typing on our own Semiserious is you.
Oh, it is?
It comes up as Allie. I'm writing back to people as Allie. You're like, Allie just had a really good idea. It's us. The call is coming from inside the house. You're like, and she spells her name the same way I do.
I don't know. I was like, we got a new player in the game right now. I was like, Allie, welcome to the show.
Allie, come on in. Okay, but it made me think of like Ice Cold Heart or Cold Hearted. Cold Hearted would be a cool brand name for this, and that sort of tied in the alt pop, and it was like this forlorn lover like angle that's like I've been burned before, so I turned cold.
Lyndsay,
like when love turns cold, Cold Hearted would be cool.
Hold on. You something like you said you didn't want me, or
yeah,
like a scorned lover, cold heart. Oh, hold on, that is really fun. Like a scorned lover personality.
Yeah.
You said you didn't want me.
If
you didn't love me at my ex, you can't have me at my. You didn't love me when I was sweet. Hold on. There's something. You didn't want me when I was sweet, or not. You didn't want me like. You didn't appreciate me when I was sweet. Or I don't know.
Yeah.
There's something there.
If you can't handle me at my sweet, you don't deserve me at my savory. Or like you let like the folklore is like love left a bitter taste in my mouth. So I'm going to leave one in your like bitter taste in your mouth. And I've been burned before. So now I'm ice cold, which also makes me think Cold Hearted, which makes me then think the beer one should be called Stone Cold instead of like Stone Cold Sober. You're like Stone Cold. Anyway.
I love Cold Hearted as a name. That is like just sexy. Cold Hearted. God, picture that in the freezer section. That is. You know what I'm picturing with the Cold Hearted branding? Like the first visual that came to my head is like White Snake, like 80s hair banger, like that.
You're cold as ice.
Yeah, cold as ice. Yeah. Shit. Man, I want to like turn that into something.
Now I just want to do regular popsicles that are called Cold Hearted and they're just bitter. Or maybe they're slightly grown up, like some of these tastes, not the like savory taste, but more like grown up. And they make them, like basil and lemon and whatever. Ginger and like some of those like more bitter, less like sugary sweet and more like.
I just think the idea of them being less sweet is like.
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
just
true.
is like perfect if it's like cold-hearted. And then I love
Mhm.
I love Allie's idea of having like cold-hearted statements on the like
Yeah.
that idea on the sticks of like saying like get your life to like not like get your life together, but
Yeah.
like just like real
Or like even just really dramatic, like love is a lie. Like it says you're just like, oh my
yeah,
God, like these are just like super dramatic, like diary entry-esque, like like just funny that. Oh, good. They're all saying it says semi-serious for them. We see it as Allie.
oh my God. Okay, that's
good
so
to
funny.
know.
Lyndsay, you know what is not done enough is putting things on like it's not that it's not done, but like putting things on like the tags or interior caps
Inside
or
the bottle
sticks
cap. Or
inside a bottle. Like it is done, but it's not done enough. Like, well, I remember what I think about a lot is that do you remember Michelob Ultra had the twin labels? That was like in the early 2000s.
No.
Oh my God, the beer had the twin labels where the beer, it would say hilarious things on the label. So when you would get handed a beer at a bar, it would say something crazy. I can't even think of what a twin. Hold
But
on,
why
let me see.
twin? What does twin mean?
It had like a label on each side, I guess. That's what they called it, twin
okay.
labels. I don't know, I made that up, but twin label Michelob Ultra. I know we have to go, but hold on. Let me see if I can find one. What did they say? They said twin labels. Ugh. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Is anyone our age?
Funny labels, Michelob.
Or maybe they were. Hold on. Twin labels.
Are you sure it was Michelob Ultra?
I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe it was Hold on. I didn't even drink beer, and Molson. It was Molson Canadian. Sorry, it wasn't Michelob Ultra.
Oh.
And they would say like, oh, okay, one of them would say, "Guess where my tattoo is." Like they said funny. There were like conversation prompts sometimes. They said like crazy things, and they were really popular.
That's funny.
I
don't live with my mother. She lives with me. I see that one.
Your fly is open. They were so we used to go to Canada all the time when we were 19 because I'm from Detroit. We're 20 minutes from the border, so we used to go to Windsor, Canada, and that was like the most popular beer. And they were such funny conversation starters. So you'd be like really excited to see what beer you got handed, or which bottle you got handed. Anyway, like imagine how fun it would be to like eat your cold-hearted popsicle and be like dying to see what you're said.
Yes,
especially if it said like an insult or
Allie,
a dig
twin labels. They're calling it twin labels.
Twin labels, right?
Help me christen my bathtub. Do you like nature shows? I'm cooler than almost everybody here. So you'd turn it because you'd have the normal label on the front and the funny label
and
on
the
the
other
back.
way would be funny. Yeah, they were like a hoot. And then we would peel the label. Like the label weirdly peeled off really easy, and you would put it on your shirt and stuff. Like people would wear it.
I mean, I do. I think very often about how lame Dove chocolate bar messages are, and how much potential there is there. So yeah, it's time, and we're doing it cold hearted.
Wow. Okay, I really like that.
Great,
man.
Okay,
that
was a blast.
Great. That was fun.
Okay, so next week we'll be back with Natter again to reveal two of our design mock-ups of two past episode ideas. So we're really excited for that. And then the following week we'll be back. And thanks for being here. Everyone had great ideas, especially Allie in the comments.
Especially Allie in the comments.
Semi-serious in the comments. Really.
Genius. Like and subscribe. We appreciate that. And then if you want to, check us out, check our agency out. It's, semiseriousagency.com. So, if you could see our actual work, and we have more than 20 minutes to cook up our crazy ideas. So anyway, thanks for playing along. You guys are the best, and we'll see you next week.
Okay, bye.